Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Hey, welcome to the podcast of people whose mamas died by people whose mamas died. It's called No Mama No Manual. I'm Tiana.
I'm Brittany.
And today we are talking about how grief changes your friendships.
It changes them.
It does change them. I think personally, I got distant for a second. Or just because my person is gone, and now nothing matters.
It's so dark.
It is, but it is what happened to me. But after the darkness, I started to take care of my friendships a little better. It kind of sends you all over the place. Like, you literally go through the entire feelings wheel when it comes to your friendships, especially when you're grieving and while you're grieving. And I think in addition to like nurturing them more, I have learned more recently, so in the years that have passed, to be a bit more gracious with handling my friends and their stuff, especially recognizing that they at some point were gracious with me. And then if they weren't, that had its own like set of consequences. It's weird how loss affects you in your ability to people.
Yeah. Or desire.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's what it changed. Not so much my ability, just my desire and capacity. I think like I was 25 when my mom died, but I was like 23 when she got sick, like really sick, because she had been dealing with it for a long time. But when it got to the point where it was like, oh, she needs round the clock care type of situation, I was 23. But even before that, she needed a lot of support, right? So I couldn't really nurture relationships like a 23-year-old does anyway, right? I had a baby, I had other things, and so the friends that I did have were my people, those the homies. So I think in some ways, like I said, it was a capacity issue. So I think losing my mom made some things really black and white, right? So like some issues are really black and white. There are certain things that like if you do them, I'm good on you, right? And then, like you said, it offered, or it made me offer more grace. So then in some ways, there's more room for nuance and gray area in some ways. But it made me very clear about like what things are a hard no for me when it comes to my relationships with other people, and what things are like, you know what, we'll talk about that in our next friendship session, But it just made my borders and boundaries very clear. Very clear.
I think sometimes the grief causes you to analyze the quality of your friendships and to make adjustments, or like you said, put some boundaries around your expectations of people.
For real.
I know that in some of my friendships, people did not show up at all beyond the "I'm so sorry that happened" text. And it pissed me off. And I would even go so far as to say that some people lost a parent, and I was just like, well, welcome. And in my bitterness, did I opt out?
I mean,
I did. And I don't necessarily feel great about it in my, like, it's been a couple years now, and I can look back at it and say, Tana, that was petty. And they didn't know what you needed because it hadn't happened to them yet. And you now have more knowledge than them, and you chose to be petty as fuck. why'd you do that?
Yeah.
But it was an internal thing. Like, it wasn't anything I think I ever had to address with him. But there were times where I felt unsupported. And I'm just like, wow, y'all really didn't care. My whole mama died.
Yeah, I think I felt like that. I think some of my relationships that I thought were better friendships than they were. Because like in our young adulthood, we had fun together. We went out together. Yes, we did certain things together.
That was my turn up girl. And that was all they were for.
I don't think so, though. I feel differently about those people now.
Really? In what way?
They didn't know. We were so young. They didn't know. And they had their own stuff going on. They had their own priorities at the time. Like, I think I made it about me, but it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And I think maybe in that season, so like you said, they weren't the friend for that season. But that ain't the only season. It feels like it in the time, right? Yeah. It feels like it when it's so heavy. But they weren't, like, maybe they aren't the friends to help you carry that heavy thing. But there have been other heavy things that they have helped me carry. You know, or that they'll be good for. So I don't think anybody is all one thing. I feel differently. I know that there were people that I was deeply wounded about how they did or didn't show up, particularly when like I had friends, they would come home for parties, right? Because they didn't live in Detroit anymore. But when there would be a big party, they would come home. But like when it was my mama's funeral, they didn't come home, right? I didn't say anything, but I felt some type of way. You know, I felt some type of way until I didn't, because I was like, maybe they don't like going to funerals.
Maybe they don't like going to funerals because you now don't like going to funerals.
Maybe they didn't know. And there's one friend in particular who she really tried after, because I was able to voice it years later. This was years later. And I was like, you know, I had wished my friends would have shown up for me in a different way. Right. And she tried to. Because I had the words and I could say it. And then she tried, you know. Yeah. So it wasn't that she didn't want to. She didn't know what to do. I was different. So you have to remember, right? I'm not the friend they remember. I am new mom, tired caretaker, newly dead mom, Brittany now, right? Yeah. And so they had to like relearn how to interact with me. My priorities had changed. My temperament had changed. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either. I think, I don't know if I've said this on here already, but like at the time I had a roommate and she was extra helpful because she grew up in the church and like knew what to do.
You did. You said that, yeah.
Yeah. And she hadn't experienced losing a parent, but I really appreciated her being there. I think some of my best friends, some who used to be more hesitant to like get up and go out with me to places were now more like, okay, T wants to go out, let me go with her. And I appreciated that too. And for one of my friends I apologized to because her grandmother passed away, and at the time, like my relationship with my grandma was kind of, well, my living grandmother was kind of distant, and then my other grandmother passed away 10 years before I was born. So I was just like, I'm sorry, like, do you want to go to the club? I don't know what to do.
You didn't know.
I didn't know. Damn. And then after, but she was really close to her grandma, and so that was a humongous loss for her. And after experiencing my first huge loss with my mom, I was like, yo, I didn't know what you needed, and I'm sorry if I wasn't there for you how you may have wanted me to be. And she was just like, I appreciate you apologizing, because some people, like a lot of people, probably didn't or never even recognized that, oh man, I may not have been the bestest friend for you at the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it makes it's hard. I was unfair to people. It's just unfair because they didn't know no better. It's hard. Like you said, it's just hard. People don't know. The other thing is, I was the opposite way. So like people did show up and I was annoyed because I wanted to be alone. And they thought they were doing for me, but they were doing that for them because they didn't ask me what I needed, because I needed to be alone.
Mm.
And so it can go both ways, right? Because I think sometimes people think that the way they show up is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know. It can be tough. It's hard. People don't know what to do. People just don't know what to do. It's hard. I would say that because it's so hard and because of the friendships that did survive, they're my people.
Yeah.
You know, and the ones who didn't, they cool too. I couldn't have said that 6 years ago. Maybe even 4 years ago. I'd have been like,
middle fingers to you and yours.
Everybody. But it's like, no, you cool. Maybe not for me. And maybe not for me. And maybe there are some bridges that I have burned and I burned the ashes. But for the most part, it's like maybe in a different season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Not in that one and not in this one, but maybe in a future one. And I think that that's what my mother's death has given me when it comes to how I relate to people. Because, you know, people just don't know.
They don't know.
It's hard. It's hard for you, right? When you're in it, you don't know how to navigate it. But the people around you don't either.
Yeah, they don't. And I think right now, because my friend whose grandmother passed away, has now lost her other grandmother and an uncle. And she went away. Like, she got so distant. And I'm like, what'd I do? I did something. Because now I am attempting to show up for her in the way that I didn't the first time around. And it feels like it's being rejected, right? But I asked, right? Because communication is key. And her response was just like, I asked, is there a way I could be a better friend for you at this time?
That's a beautiful question.
And she was like, no, I'm really just focusing on myself. And it was like the driest. It was the driest and it hurt. But at the same time, it was just like, damn, she probably really just don't have it.
That's a lot of loss. Yeah.
This is how she would like to deal with it. Like, if I am not a person she could be around right now, okay. Like, I ain't do nothing, but I also did not do anything either. And so it's like learning to sit with that. So my understanding that grief shows up differently for everybody was a thing that I've gained since losing my mommy. And you know, that you just kind of gotta be okay with it.
Yeah.
There are some things in this world that there's nothing you can do about. Like, I cannot fix that for you. I cannot fix it for me. I cannot do anything but accept. Now, that's probably as a person who wants to fix and better and control, there's just some stuff that it exists very far outside of the bubble of things I can control. I don't think I had a real good understanding of that before.
I think the other side of that is the ways that, like I said, people need different things, but I tend to show up the way I need people to show up for me.
Yeah,
right.
Me too.
And so there have been friends who have lost people since, and I left them alone with the understanding that I'm here. Tell me what you need and I got you. But I'm not going to just start doing stuff because I don't want to be in the way, right? I don't want to make something that's stressful more stressful by inserting myself into it. And that has felt to other people distant and hands off, and right? And all I can do is be like, I feel you. And I can respect that. And be at peace with the fact that I did my best and know that, you know, maybe I'm not that person in this season. And that sucks too, but it ain't really about you.
It's not.
Right? Unless they make it about you, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But, still in therapy.
Okay, you know, therapy is a good place to be. I also thought about the fact that, like, so we ask people to tell us what they need in the season. But when you lose a mom, sometimes you don't even know what the fuck you need. Like, so I don't know. But what I've learned is to offer what you have.
Yeah.
Offer what you have.
That's it right there.
Hey, I understand that you may not know what you need at this time, but if you would like to, because I'm the friend that's going to get you out of the house, if you would like to get out of the house, you can come over, we can cook. I have these gigs coming up if you want to hit the club, right, on me, because somebody's going to buy his drinks. Right? Can business expensive? This is a meeting with the client, right? Those are the things that I have. If that's something that you need, I'm here for you with that. Otherwise, I love you.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And I think you got to let people have their process. You know, I had to have mine, and I got back cool with people. And so I know that, like, and I don't know that, but if the next loss happens, when it happens, because it's just a win, right? Not a if. I'll just be happy for the people who do kind of show up in a way that feels significant, because you know you're not alone. But you know you can choose to be if you need to in those moments, right? And those will be my people. And then when I come out of that season, maybe I'll have different people, and maybe I think that's what it has. I kind of just feel like I'm floating. I'm like, in this season, these my people, and then it'll be okay. And either way, I'll survive. You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice though. I like it. It's less anxiety inducing than like, these are my friends and we have to be friends and I have to do it like this. No, I ain't got to do shit.
And I need them to show up for me this way.
They ain't got to do shit. They give what they have. And it's the most beautiful thing. I've learned not to keep score with my friends.
That's a thing.
So, and I've learned not to be around people who keep score. And my mama's death, I don't know. It's weird because like, it's just giving me the best relationships. I just really love my people. You know, my circle is a dot, but my dot is solid. Okay. Solid. But it's hard. It's hard. It was hard to love me in that season.
Yeah. So you don't know what you need, and what you need changes, and the way you feel about what you need changes. And it's just like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to
But that's the thing, right? That's why it's so unfair to people. Because like, I can remember being different on Monday than Wednesday. What do people do? Other than just be like, okay.
Literally, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's not enjoyable. Like, nothing about the process is enjoyable. And it's not enjoyable for you as a person who lost your mom. And it's not enjoyable for your friends who are grasping at straws, trying to figure out how the fuck to, like, be your friend right now.
Yeah. I just don't think there's a right way to do it. I think there's just people just getting through the best way they can, man. You know, at least I was. I don't know how. Y'all got to tell us how y'all did it. But I was just getting through the best way I could. And at the end of it, when the fog was less, I was just thankful for the people who, you know, either stuck it out with me or who gave me space, but who allowed me to come back and be different. Right? We haven't talked in 3 years, and I'm different. But you're willing to learn about me, and I'm willing to learn about you. And it was cool. Like, okay. Friendship 2.0.
Friendship 2.0.
You know?
I think that... we can edit it. It's no problem. I think that you have to create space for the different versions of your friendships that will come after you grieve such a huge loss. I don't think that is a thing. Like, of course, there is no right way, but I don't think that's a thing that people consider. Like, I don't think we consider it enough as human beings that exist, right? But then when your mom dies, you for damn sure aren't thinking about it. But people change and grow constantly. And sometimes it happens at a quickened pace when you experience a big loss. So if I were to advise anyone on anything about this, no, I really can't. But if I was to attempt, right, it would be to like leave room for things to be different in your friendships, because you are now different people. But if the people love you like they say you do,
I don't know. That's tough. I don't know. Whatever. I think this is the psychiatry training in me coming out, so it's probably not fair.
Well, what though? Say the things.
You are grieving and you are all the things. You are sad, you are whatever, and those things are valid. Right? Yeah. But I don't know, just leaving room for nuance and grace.
Yeah.
I have really enjoyed my post-mom's death new friendships with people who I don't think were, because I don't think they knew how to be, right? But they're my dogs. I'm really just happy for a friendship. So, I don't know. It's hard. Because I know people on the other side of this. I talk to plenty of people and they be like, hell no, if you ain't come to this, you went at my mom's funeral, fuck you. Okay, that's cool too. You know? And that's your right.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think everybody's going to have a different kind of code on this one.
Yeah.
This is one of those things it's hard.
It looks different for everybody.
It's hard. It's just so hard.
It's so difficult.
It's so hard.
And you just, because I know one of my friends who, I think this will be year 2 for her.
Yeah.
So crazy, right? You have to, I don't know. But I recall her telling me about how unhappy she was about the way that her friends, some of her friends treated her or didn't treat her when she was in that immediate grief process. And it's just dang, everybody really does need different stuff.
Yeah. What do you need? Now, looking back 5 years later, what did you need?
What did I need? I needed people around. I know that. So for me, initially, when my mom first passed away, it didn't hit me too bad because we didn't live in the same state. So I did not see her often. And I had grown accustomed to being apart from my mom at a really young age. Because I think I spent my first full week away from my mom at age 9 or 10. And I was at a summer camp with no phones. So I went a full 7 days without talking to my mama. And on day 7, when she popped up, I'm like, I'm straight. This is a blast. I'm Gucci. You can go back home. Go back home. I'm good here. There's food. There are people. Because I'm the only child, right? So there's food. There are kids here.
Yeah.
That I can go. We about to go swim in a lake with the freaking algae. It's horses up there. We roasted marshmallows yesterday. Go away. Right? College came. I got to campus. I made a friend immediately. This lady is following me around campus. Go home. I'm in college now. I'm Gucci. I am not Gucci. I can't call her for things. She can't call me for things. I won't get a random box of scarves in the mail because she was like, I got these scarves. Thanks, my girl. It's summertime, but I appreciate you. But I did need people around. I really appreciate people who answer the phone for me because I like phone calls better than text messages. And phone calls was the thing. My mom and I would talk. We would sit and talk on the phone for hours. And so having people to be able to talk to on the phone to kind of fill in those gaps for when I can't call my mommy.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful. I needed that. I needed people to check on me. I needed to feel like they was concerned about me because my mama was concerned about me. And it felt weird not having her concern. That felt weird. You said that you needed space. Was there anything else?
I appreciated the people who gave me space, but who sent the text hey, I'm here if you need anything. And who didn't get offended when I left them on red. or because I wouldn't leave them on red, but just would react. Or I left you on red a couple times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it wasn't.
Again, it wasn't malicious. It was just like, okay.
And that's really what I needed.
I guess you didn't need anything right now.
I process things in my head, and I had a young baby, so I was already like touched out. I was in medical school, so like I'm reading all day, I'm studying all day, so the silence was just appreciated. I appreciated people who left me alone, but who also said, "I'm gonna leave you alone, but I'm here." So that's what I needed, which is totally different than the phone ringing would irk me. The sound of people's voices was irritating. So I don't want to talk to anybody. So it was just different.
Yeah. I can say, like, I appreciated the moments where I had reached my max for peopling.
Yeah.
And niggas, like, left me alone.
Yeah.
I think having a roommate at the time, that was hard. Like, I have talked to people all day.
Yeah.
All day. Like, I'm driving for Lyft, talking to people. I'm at the radio station, talking to people. And now I just want to be in my room. But you want to talk to me. Don't.
Why are you talking to me?
Why are you talking to me? There's so many other people in the world to talk to.
Yeah.
You don't got to talk to me.
I just think it's... Now at 31, not 25, I just recognize that people's lives didn't stop.
They didn't,
and so they were dealing with their own things, and they were doing their best. You know,
they try for sure. They try for sure.
Yeah. And even the people who didn't, I don't know.
It's like, okay,
it's hard
now.
6 years, because 6 months.
You're the worst person on the planet, and I hate you.
You were never a friend to me. This was never real. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So it evolves. I would say that's all I got. I don't think there's a right way to show up or a wrong way to show up.
Yeah.
I would say the only thing you can do is, if you love somebody, if you care about somebody, is leave space for them to evolve. Yeah. And just assume the best. Assume that your people don't know. Right. If they shown themselves over time. Now, if this is like the thing that be like, see, I knew your ass wasn't really solid, right? Because they have been showing it on not so important levels, then go with that. Go with that feeling. Trust your gut. But if they been your people, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
Y'all be friends again.
Maybe.
Some of them. I would say that. Some of my best and most solid friendships have come status post my mama death. And it's like, that's why we was cool.
Yeah.
So
I always knew I fucked with you. I fuck with you. I know. Okay. Well, that is cool. I would love to hear from you if you're listening, if you're watching. What ways did your friendships change? Like, how has the grief shown up?
I think an easier question might be, how didn't they change?
We don't ask easy questions. Why would we do that?
Like 2 things.
Right. We still like tacos. I don't know. But like, let us know. I'm curious. I would like to hear. You already know where to find us on the community things. And if you don't, we will post them for you. And we did it. Again, no tears. Almost got, but I didn't though.
I didn't almost cry at all. I just want to point that out.
It's not a competition.
I'm sorry. You're right. I don't know why I did that.
I don't either. I still love you. I do. I still love you.
Like I said, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.